evening. Happy Monday. Happy April Fool's Day. I almost forgot that's what it was. Welcome to Power Talk. I'm your host, Adrienne. And tonight I've got a lovely guest, Karen Uppal, and we're going to be talking about freeing yourself from the limitations that hold you back from having everything you want in your life and being all that you can be. So welcome, Karen.
Hi, Jean, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me be a part of the show today.
Well, I'm really excited because, so viewers, Karen has just kicked off on the 28th a global summit series called Set Yourself Free, and I'm really honored that she invited me to be a part of that. And I think it's such an amazing endeavor that you have begun, Karen. And let's just kind of back up a little bit and start by talking about where all this began. How did you get on this path to set yourself free?
That's a great question, Jean. And, you know, it's always the first question that I ask others who are on a similar path. So thank you for bringing that up. So I grew up in a very traditional Indian cultural family dynamic. And, you know, I was always swayed away from being myself. You know, all of my life I was told what I was to do and the clothes that I would wear and the friends that I would have and later who I would marry. You know, my parents married at 17 years old and they met each other once before they actually got married. And what I always knew growing up is that, wow, this just seemed so odd. I cannot believe that these people are living their lives this way. This just does not seem right to me. And as a result, you know, because I didn't feel free to fully ever express myself and was also very, very scared to go against my parents and my grandparents, I became very, very shy, very, very introverted and, you know, would be the quietest person in the room and could never really make sense of how people were living their lives. I also got married at the age of 24 to a gentleman that fit the criteria that was required of me. And I actually ended up cancelling my wedding, had this realization that, oh, this is not my life, shared with my parents that I do not wish to proceed. And 6 months later, I actually left my family home and moved to the States by myself. And that led me onto a bit of a journey to really discover who I am in the world. And on my 33rd birthday, I had experienced what I now know as quite a profound spiritual awakening. And it was somewhat out of the blue for me. It's not something that I was really working towards. I mean, I did know that there was something always not right and there was always something more to know, which was revealed to me actually on that day and continues to unfold so beautifully and magically and has allowed me to take this huge leap of faith and be who I am in the world, which is I'm here to be of loving contribution to humanity so that we can all go back to the beauty of our hearts and live life from that place. So,
yay. Thank you for doing that.
Yes,
you know, I think most of us in Western culture can't even comprehend being put in the place of having to do an arranged marriage. Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand it because I have a very dear friend who was also Indian and who did go through that whole process and ended up being miserable. You know, and I just, I can't even imagine having to do that. You know, here we're allowed at least to make our own mistakes. You might end up miserable or you might end up happy and it's kind of a crapshoot, you know, but, depends on how much enlightenment you want to put into the whole process, I suppose. But that's just beyond my comprehension. Yeah. And so I'm glad that you were able to make a choice for Karen, before it was too late.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, and I think I was, you know, in my teenage years into my early 20s was very physically and emotionally abused by my older brother who was a drug addict, unfortunately. And so when I first moved out here, I was in a deep state of depression. And I want to share this because I know that a lot of people are experiencing this deep darkness, right? And they feel so stuck in it. And I just want to share that there is a way out. And so when I moved out here, physically moving did not really answer all of my questions. It didn't resolve everything that was occurring internally, right? I just continued to bring that over here with me.
Yeah, wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. And what I'd realized is that, wow, I'm severely depressed. I'm scared to still be myself. And I had created the limitations, the obstacles and the restrictions within myself that I still was experiencing under my parents' roof. So that's what ultimately led me on the path to know that this is not a life. This is not the type of life that we deserve. And I wish to be free of this. And I remember what I did was I actually felt into my brother and I saw his experience for what it is. And I actually turned the anger into compassion. And then I chose to turn the fear into love. And I was no longer then bound by what I had experienced from my brother. I mean, I love my brother dearly. He is no longer a part of our lives. That's his choice. But, I no longer am bound by that experience. So it was really a choice. And then from that day forth, everything that occurred in my life, there's still obstacles and things that would happen along the way. And knowing that there's a choice in everything that we do, and we get to choose how we feel about these things. Yeah. And we were never taught growing up how to utilize our emotions. We were never taught how to express ourselves. And the more I actually allowed myself to do that freely and share my story, the easier it became.
Yeah, I'm sure. And did you get a resolution with your parents after the choice you made?
So that's a great question. I actually lied to them when I first moved to the States because it was the only way to really get away.
Yeah.
I told them that I had to move for work, which was not true. But I knew that if I told them that I was moving, that was unacceptable at 25 years old for an Indian girl to move out of her family home that's not married. That was unacceptable. So, the lie continued for a couple of years. And then, there was a huge resolution. And, now we have such a beautiful relationship, and they're seeing me, do all the things that I'm doing now, and they support me 100%. And I so appreciate that. Yeah. So in me setting myself free, I've actually allowed them to set themselves free as well from that burden.
Because we're all one. And I think that's what people forget. They think, well, if I do this for me, it's only going to impact me. But it doesn't. It's a ripple effect, and it impacts everyone and everything around us, which is, that's kind of hard to wrap the linear mind around.
It is. And because we're in this physical world where we abide by time, we see everything as matter. And in reality, what is matter? Matter is energy slowed down. It's energy slowed down. And it's really an aspect of illusion. So when we really allow ourselves to free ourselves from these things that are actually getting in the way of accessing who we truly are, which is a soul, we're a soul in a human form. We're not this physical being. That's not who we are. We're so much more. I think that when we truly allow ourselves to come from that place, quiet the mind, it can really transform, and that transformation can be instant. And it has continued to be instant for me when I choose.
And we're alive here in an amazing time on planet Earth, because we really can create instantaneously. It's gotten to where now I think about somebody and the phone rings, or I want something and it appears.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. You know, yeah. And that speaks very loudly into how powerful we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we, we don't, I guess we've like been bound from taking ourselves that seriously. Like, who am I to claim that I am that powerful?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. You know, it's like this. I had an experience, and the experience that I had through my awakening, I was just in disbelief because I was sitting there with the energy and the shift that had occurred. I was asking myself, am I God? Am I God? And the answer to the question is yes. Mm-hmm. And so we all are, and that is what we have access to. We have access to this God spark that lives in absolutely everything. So we actually have the power of God running through us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the masters throughout the ages have told us that. Mm-hmm. But again, we thought, who am I to claim that? Who am I to believe that? Mm-hmm. And so thank goodness we are now finally breaking through this shell of limitation so that we can all set ourselves free, which kind of leads me to this summit that you're doing. So tell us about that.
Yes. So, as I set myself free, and I continue to do so every single day of my life, I was so inspired to support others to do the same for themselves. Mm. And, what better way to do that than bring together 29 beautiful beings who are on a similar path, and who are actually being in contribution in the world in this work. And I had brought a panel of 29 people together to actually share their own expertise, their own, what's worked for them, their own stories in this process. And, many are living these limitless lives, and are not bound any longer by all of the, bondage. And, they're no longer shackled. And, so, it was really important to me to bring to the table a variety of experiences.
And you've done that. And I can't wait until my show airs this coming Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. So who is your guest tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Kathleen Hannigan. Mm-hmm. Kathleen Hannigan, sorry. Not Caitlin, Kathleen Hannigan. And then we have you on Wednesday. And then we have Laurie Lothian on Thursday. Cool. So it's going great. It is available. We're making it available free of charge for our viewers. So you can actually go and register for free at KarenUppal.com/set yourself free, or one word. And all we ask is your name and your email address. And then every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will receive an email link with the video of that day for that speaker, and you can actually click through and actually view that, and you have 72 hours to view each video, but we will make them all available at the end of the series too, which is in about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, and we've all given the free gifts for the people who watch the show and want to claim those gifts. So that's exciting as well. And it costs you nothing but a little bit of time. And who knows? Each person's probably going to get a little bit different takeaway from the talks. And there might be something there that resonates with you that helps you to let go of those handcuffs. Because see, there are not any anymore. I'm done. I'm done with handcuffs and shackles.
That's beautiful. And yes, for the viewers, there's a variety of different experiences that we're bringing to the table. We're talking about money. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about health. We're talking about career path. We're talking about our purpose. We're talking about the soul. We're talking about ascension. We're talking about the planetary shifts that are occurring right now and what that means to us. So really it's wide open, and we're just bringing it all to the table and just sharing lovingly from our hearts.
So this has been quite the endeavor for you. What are you going to do when you have free time on your hands after this?
Yes. So, so I am actually developing a new workshop right now to assist those who are up-leveling in a way in which they are ready to actually take the next step in their lives from a spiritual perspective. So I'm called to really create that. So I'm creating it right now from scratch, and it's going to be available at the end of the series.
Cool. Yeah. So it's all about finding people who are ready to become accountable and responsible for making it happen in their own life. I love that.
Exactly. Yes. To me, it's just very important. I mean, to me, when you know what you are here to be, nothing can weigh you away from that. And I know that this is available to us all. This feeling is available to us all. This experience is available to us all, uniquely to your own expression, of course.
Absolutely.
No experience is ever going to be the same. But this amount of freedom, I know is available to us all. So for this reason, I've been called to, make the necessary shifts in my life to serve my purpose.
Absolutely. And, you said something early on about what happened when you first came to the U.S., and you said it sort of triggered a dark night of the soul for you. Yeah. It's interesting because, I see clients every day, and the common thread that I'm seeing amongst my clients right now has to do with this dark night of the soul. They have grown so much so quickly that they don't know who they are anymore.
Right. I'm so glad that you brought that up, Jean, because it's so interesting. That has come up so much around my community too, and around actually a lot of the speakers that I've spoken to of recent. It's so interesting. What's with the dark night of the soul? That's what we are calling it. I see it as a blessing. It's such a blessing because it is really time to release ourselves from the patterns and the sequences that are continuously replaying themselves in our lives. So if we are still not seeing or still are not aware of these things that are ready to shift, what happens is that density gets denser and denser and denser because it's ready to transmute.
Right.
So when we're not allowing for that transmutation to, do its process, we're finding ourselves in feeling depression. I mean, I've even spoken to people who have had suicidal thoughts. I don't know who they are, feel that crazy. And the truth is, you're absolutely not crazy. You are a blessing on this earth. And what is occurring is actually to facilitate this process in your awakening. So let's allow ourselves to really create the awareness of what it could be that we are not allowing to flow. Like, is it all a flow?
Yeah. And I think that what ends up happening is that we have these beliefs that we've grown up with that put us in a box. And here we are. And think that that's all there is. And the truth is that once we let that fall away, even if it's just for a second, we can get a glimpse that there's something outside that box.
Yes.
Many times that can start the process and help us to begin to lift out of whatever it is that's got us floating around in the muck.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's so true, Jean. I mean, we have the things that we have identified with as human beings. It's so interesting to me because now I can see both sides, and it is very intense. It's not easy, but when we really allow ourselves to love, for the love to flow through and the love to resolve all of it, it becomes easier and easier and easier.
And we don't have to suffer. We really don't. And that's really one of the reasons why I was excited about participating in your summit, is because, if I can help one person move through this faster,
yes,
I'm sure that the other 28 people that are on this summit feel the same way. And each of us looks at it. We're like a giant ball. We each present a facet of reality to the viewers. But, the hope is that, if we just touch one person and help them move forward on their path, then, wow, I've done what I came there to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I mean, yeah, even one person, it's so vital. And it's really time for us to take our power back and know that what we have been seeking is ourselves.
Yes.
We've been seeking ourselves. And, it's really not about the giving away our power anymore. We've done that for long enough. And when we truly choose to take the inward path, everything can shift at such a fast rate that it's, that's when we realize that we're already free. We were always free.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the secret. Set yourself free. Well, you're actually already free. It's just remembering that you always were.
Yeah. And, I want to go back to the metaphor of the arranged marriage that you almost went into. Yeah. How many of us who are watching the show or listening today are in an arranged marriage of their own with their reality, believing that that's what they have to see every time they open their eyes, and that's what they have to do, and that's what they have to be as far as their job and all of that is concerned. It's an arrangement that you make with yourself and with reality, and it's time. It doesn't serve us anymore. That's an outdated paradigm.
It is an outdated paradigm, right? It is. And, just to speak into energetically, we have been on this planet as a part of the energetic structure in a, we speak of it as we call it the Fibonacci spiral, right? It's a singular spiral. It's one-sided. So the energies have now shifted. That geometry no longer exists as a part of our reality.
Right.
It is so expansive that anything is possible instantaneously.
Yeah.
And it is really allowing ourselves to connect with the truth of who we truly are and allowing for that magic to occur.
And it's so much bigger than anything we could ever have conceived.
Yes. I'm so blown away every single day.
Yeah.
And I know that this realization is available to us all.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It so is. And, So viewers, if you have not already registered, go to Karen Uppal, KarenUppal.com/set yourself free. And register for this. No obligation and no cost to you, but the benefits that you will receive are unlimited as you unlimit yourself. So I love it. So thank you so much, Karen, for being on the show tonight and sharing yourself and your summit with the viewers. And, it's just going to keep getting better. And join me again next week. I'm going to have another great show on tap. And until then, remember, people who take responsibility for their lives create the reality they desire. I love you all. Ciao.